Aaron Sampson here with Maxwell McGee.
Howdy, folks.
Maxwell has brought with him XCOM Enemy Within.
The enemy is within. Right now, we don't have to worry so much about enemies being within because we're just at the foundry. We're buying some tactical rigging, a new upgrade. I'm really excited about Enemy Within. It's going to let your soldiers bring 2 items into battle.
So I can bring a grenade and a med kit.
Yeah, you can heal and hurt all at the same time. But yeah, here we are, just having a good time, hanging out. I'm sure nothing's going to go wrong, right, Samson?
I'm sure nothing is going to go wrong in this cutscene.
Watch Bradford be a badass again.
What the hell?
I'd like to make a collect call to Earth.
So, man,
internal systems are shutting down all over HQ.
This is Central. Security status red. Repeat.
Yeah, Bradford just being a badass right now.
That's a major workplace violation, isn't it? Having a gun at work under the desk.
Having a loaded firearm in your desk. I guess when you work at like a fucking alien invasion prevention headquarters, you get to have a firearm at your desk.
I thought his special power came from making, collect calls from his...
He's the fucking... Who's the guy in Mass Effect? The, Hackett. He's the fucking Admiral Hackett of this game. Just calls you up. Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, what's up? You want to accept a collect call?
You want to stop these aliens?
Here's my advice. Stop the aliens.
Delta Section, report. Delta Section, report. Finally, Delta Section. It looks like your emergency generators are back online. And
Because fuck Alpha and Bravo section.
I know. Those sections are so boned,
Those
man.
sections are just full of losers.
Yeah, you guys be happy you're in fucking Delta Section. That's where the party's at.
Through the cavern near the rear guard station.
Oh, fuck that.
Plus, you've got a whole wall of heat signatures coming down through.
Oh, that looks like a mech suit.
Yeah, we're going to see some mech play in this demo. He's going to say one more thing after he finishes this. It's going to look like he's done talking, but he's going to say one more thing.
Reinforcements through, but that might take some time. Right now, it looks like the closest alarms being triggered are in the vents above.
Have they discussed post-war how people in those mech suits are going to, squeeze into 7-Eleven or something?
We can speculate on that. All right, here we go.
The future of XCOM is counting on you.
All right, so XCOM, bless their hearts, they're having a bad day, Samson.
So some of the enemies may be within.
Yeah, we've got literally enemies within the base right now. This is a base defense mission.
One thing that's really cool is I was actually waiting for this mission for all of Enemy Unknown to happen. I wanted to see the fruits of my labor destroyed.
See, having just gotten into the XCOM series with Enemy Unknown, I didn't even know that base defense missions were a thing, really.
Yeah.
How much of the earlier XCOMs have you played? Were they a mission type that you would run into?
I actually came into the series in the last
iteration. Okay. So we are both XCOM newbies as well. So this is and they'll sort of touch on this at the end of the demo as well, but I kind of feel like the base defense is sort of like a one-off scripted event that's going to happen to you sort of in the early months, or at least that's how it happened to me. But basically in this first section here, you're in Delta Section, you're basically in the pit with the magic globe, and aliens, as you can see, are just raining down all around us. And it's going to turn into just a war zone. Your starting party, you'll notice I've got one of my mech troopers out there, I've got a heavy, I think I've got a lady with a shotgun around the corner, and then just a bunch of, I think what they're referred to as XCOM security personnel. They're basically just a bunch of rookies with...
They're the red shirts?
Yeah, we got a couple of red shirts up in the rafters. They've got grenades and general assault rifles and those sorts of upgrades. I'm not really sure how it calculates your starting characters. I went through and started this mission up triggered this mission a couple of times, and it gave me just different configurations of people every single time. The aliens that it rains down on you will also change. What were you going to say, Sam?
That Thin Man just got a lot thinner.
That Thin Man, he got destroyed because I put everybody on Overwatch, and he just ate 5 Overwatch reaction shots. Unfortunately, he sort of took a bullet for the rest of his team because nobody else got reaction shotted, just the one dude.
So tell me this, can your mech suit carry dual plasma sniper rifles?
That would be the best. No, but my mech suit is pretty well kitted out. I've got a tier 2 mech suit down there. She's got flamethrower on one arm, which is definitely better for like crowd control and smaller enemies. And then she's got a grenade launcher.
Oh man, that guy just...
That guy, he had kind of a confused throw with his grenade there. Had a little bit of trouble. Maybe didn't have the best arc on that and ended up not doing himself any favors. But I did hurt the chrysalid down at the bottom, so that's what counts.
That was always my favorite thing in Enemy Unknown, is when a chrysalid would kill one of your guys, and then you would have to kill them again.
Oh yeah, like, you had to re-kill them.
Like how did that letter go home?
That's such a bummer.
I'm so sorry that Sergeant Peabody died.
I like to imagine they just kind of left that part out. They were just like, look, Peabody.
And then after he died, I shot him.
Yeah, he got shot with some plasma. We're just gonna leave it at that. Nothing else happened. It was, unfortunate for everybody involved. There definitely wasn't any zombieism involved in any part of his tragic demise.
It was friendly fire. It's just that he wasn't so friendly.
He was
at the
rather
time.
unfriendly at this point. So this first wave, basically, you have to wipe out this first group of enemies, and then you may have heard Bradford talking about it earlier, but there's flyers coming in. Basically, that little alcove there where my mech suit was just standing. Oh, and we're going to see it right now. Here are those flyers. We've got 2 cyber discs. Cyber discs are the bane of my existence. I hate them so much. But we've got 2 cyber discs and 2 drones, and right now I'm thinking to myself, can I set Cyberdisk on fire with a flamethrower? Probably not.
You're also halfway down on health, though, so you could lose that real bad.
She did. She took a lot of punishment. She was just sort of hanging out there, holding the line, and the Cyberdisk just rolled up on her. It caught me completely off guard, and they unloaded on her for a ton of damage. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, what am I going to do? I think pretty much this is the end of the turn that I'm on right now. All of my other team members have acted. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to lay on some damage, hope for the best. I'm going to shoot him with this grenade. It's all going to be cool.
Oh, awesome grenade toss.
Where'd the grenade go? Oh. Again, folks, this build is a work in progress. I just thought that was a bit of humor there, because I was a little bit mad at that point. I was like, oh no, my grenade like glitched into the floor and didn't make it.
Totally a beta build.
Yeah, totally work in progress. I'm sure there will be 100% less grenades magically falling into floors in the final game. But throw a little smoke down on my mech trooper. I don't see the little defense buff icon on my mech trooper, so I'm not sure if that really did me any favors. But luckily, my shotgun lady, she's on Overwatch, and Bazambo, big damage on the alien Cyberdisk. Definitely feeling good about that one.
Nice. What did she just light off with there? What kind of shotgun was that?
That's just laser. So pretty much where I'm at now, I think I'm at the end of May of my first year. So I've got a couple of suits of, and I know some people out there have like XCOM down to a science, and they probably have like plasma sniper rifles in the first 3 months or whatever. But basically where I was at by the end of May was, we're talking like some couple of suits of carapace armor. We're talking heavy laser you just saw there, laser shotgun. I think we've got one guy with a laser rifle who's going to come in at the very end. But basically just carapace and some light laser technology.
No alloy cannons just yet.
No, nothing big, nothing fun like that. All right, so just catch you guys up there. So I managed to take down the 2 Cyberdisks, feeling real good about that. Took down one of those drones. Didn't get the other drone, though, but didn't really see it either. I'm not... maybe it just wandered off. I don't know. Maybe we'll see him sometime later. What's important now is that we've skipped ahead a little bit, and now we're in sort of the second act of the fight. The first act, you sort of have to deal with that initial enemy drop. You deal with the Cyberdisks that fly in. Next, you move on. This is at least for me, this is the mech bay area. I'm not sure if the arena will change depending on your base layout.
Is this where the mech lady lives?
This is, yeah. Well, it's more where her suit lives. She's got, I'm telling you, she's got non-mech suit arms and legs that she can just walk around with that are a little bit more... all right. Less gigantic.
I thought I read an article about them having to remove arms and legs.
They do have to remove their arms and legs, but they have their giant mech suit body, and then they have their civilian-like arms and legs. But we're not here to talk about mech suits, except we are, because the sectoid mech suits are on the field now as well.
Because they were on the same page.
Yes. I was feeling really good about this section. It was just a couple of sectoids. That one thin man back there, I was like, oh yeah, I got this. And then, golly gee willikers, 2 sectoid troopers. So rough.
Where does Enemy Within take place in the timeline of Enemy Unknown? Is it?
Oh, Enemy Within is like completely layered on top of Enemy Unknown. You can't just you don't just load up Enemy Within and it's its own separate campaign or whatever. Like when you install Enemy Within, you'll need to start a new XCOM game.
And so it takes place on top of that.
Yeah, it takes place all the stuff with Exalt, this base defense mission, all the new items and stages and stuff. Those are all just layered on top. They're not their own separate thing. Enemy Within, some people have been calling it a DLC pack, or they just think of it as a DLC pack. And that's not really the case. It's more like a traditional expansion pack, like you used to see.
Is it kind of
in
like
the good old days of PC gaming?
Kind of like an enhanced edition of Enemy Unknown?
You could think of it that way. I mean, like I said, there are a bunch of new maps. There are some new scenarios. Like I played a scenario a couple of missions before this one where like we got reports of a fishing village that had gone silent, and we needed to go investigate it. And there was a whole little story about how like the chrysalids had taken over the fishing village, and it was like just this one-off stage, and that was really cool. So there's like a whole bunch of new stuff.
Charging exorbitant prices for sushi
for whale meat because they were living inside of whales, and it was gross. But so like there's all sorts of fun stuff like that, and it's just woven throughout the XCOM campaign. But basically, yeah, so
talk tactical with me a little bit.
So you want to stay up high is the golden rule about the base defense missions. You want to be up high in that Delta section area because you've got sort of a whole 360 view of the entire area from sort of those catwalks.
And what sort of new abilities do you have versus Enemy Unknown?
Well, at this point, like you can see there, I've got the mech suit field. That's sort of basically you're always going to be collecting this new resource called Meld. And you can use Meld to either build mech suits, like you see there, or you can spend your money on gene modifications, which sort of the difference there being the mech suits they cost a lot of Meld, they cost a lot of money to maintain, and they also involve an intense personal sacrifice on the side of the pilot. But the payoff, as you can see, is a giant freaking flamethrower and a chain gun and a grenade launcher on her back, and you just wield death and don't have to use cover. Or you can spend your money on gene mods, which give you sort of smaller bonuses that you can put onto your individual soldiers to make them jump higher or turn invisible or I don't know what else. So you will have access to both of those sort of facilities by the time you get to this base assault mission. But yeah, you definitely, like I was saying earlier, you want to stay up high. Basically, the rest of the base assault, like this enemy wave and there's another enemy wave after this, it's all going to take place in this area because I do not want to leave that balcony up there. So we've skipped ahead a little bit further. We're sort of in the final stretch, or at least what I think is the final stretch. You know, there's that second sectoid mech suit from earlier. We got a Muton down there, decided to airdrop himself in. I'm feeling pretty good. Only 3 enemies left, but
I see the Mutons still went with their attire of Muton green. They didn't want to change it up.
Yeah, they're playing on Team Muton, and they know how to represent. But here is sort of the last push the aliens are going to make. When you see the doors blow down at the end of the stage, you know that the final enemy push is coming. And of course, there's another cyber disc because the game hates me.
Yeah, have you run into any psi abilities? Have those played into this expansion at all?
When I got to this point, I did have the option of building the psionics facility to start training psionics, but it just wasn't up and running yet by the time the base defense mission started. So I'm not sure if they've done anything new with psionics yet. This preview build that I have here that this footage was captured from actually ends right after the base defense mission is concluded. If you want to, oh yeah, something you mentioned when you were talking about new upgrades, there is actually a complex badge awarding system where you are given badges after certain missions that you can assign powers to, such as, +5 defense when in cover, or, less likely to panic when people die all around you. And you can assign those badges to individual soldiers as well.
Oh, got them? Okay, I'm fine.
And give them, yeah, they're just like, wait, and you just look at the badge and you feel better about yourself. You can assign those badges to individual troops as well and give them a little bit of a bonus that way. That's something I actually don't show in this video, but yeah, badges are a new thing.
So that allows you to more specialized?
You can further specialize. I mean, it's not so much specialties. The badge powers are pretty general. Like, anybody could, like I was saying, like +5 defense when in cover. Pretty much anybody can make use of that. They're more like broader powers. I think it's really more of a way to, because in speaking with some of the developers, they talk a lot about finding ways to let the player sort of connect and bond with their troopers, a la, giving them custom names and nicknames and, special outfits and stuff. And now you can give them badges as well.
Yeah, but that's always the thing. Like, do you want to give them a custom name, or do you want to just name them Goldfish? Because they're going to be belly up in the tank 3 missions in.
Oh, man, that is dark, Samson. Is that how you see your troopers?
Do you want that attachment?
Each one of them to me is a beautiful snowflake, and I feel sad every time one of them goes down. Something I think that I'm about to show that I haven't talked about yet is reinforcements. So as you play through the base assault mission, which this mission took me almost 2 hours to get through. It is a friggin' marathon of just enemies dropping in wave after wave, and me holed up on these catwalks. But as you play through, periodically Bradford will call in and he'll be like, "We friggin' powered up the big door again, and we're gonna open it up and let some more troopers through to back you up."
Does it start with, "Will you accept a collect call from XCOM headquarters?"
I know, right? Pretty much.
Oh my God, we're all dying.
We're all exploding. Send more people in.
You're like, yes, that sounds like.
He's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll get right on that."
Yes, I accept that call.
But you get about 2 waves. No, you get 3, because you get 1 wave right away. But you get 3 waves of extra people coming through the door to back you up.
So if your core characters are dying, you get control of the kind of the red shirt secondary characters?
You get, well, every time a new reinforcement wave comes in, it's usually like, it's a mix of a few red shirts and then like one of your experienced dudes.
Yeah.
And here we are at the end of the demo. Actually, so after I cleared out that room over in the mech bay, I was just like walking around. Bradford was like, "I think there's somebody else out there. You need to go look around." So I'm like looking around. It took me a good half hour. No, not a whole half hour. We'll say 20 minutes to find out that I had missed this drone, the drone from earlier. He was hiding behind this ladder the entire
He was hanging
time.
out and watching Gravity on that giant 3D
totally
projector.
was. Yeah, look, he's right at the end of the movie too, and he's like, "No, hold on, I just want to find out what happens. Don't shoot me. No. And,
Does Sandra Bullock get?
oh, he'll never know. There we go. Lost a couple of troopers along the way, which was sad. But overall, I think I did okay.
So this is just one mission from the DLC, right?
Yeah, this is just one of the many new missions and mission types you can expect within XCOM Enemy Within. And I'm Maxwell McGee. This was Aaron Sampson, and we're going to leave you guys with the conclusion of Base Defense.
Hang in there, soldier.
Having to fight our own people.
Will he be okay, Doctor?
Yes, I believe he'll recover. And more importantly, he seems to be free from outside control.
Is there any indication of how this happened, Doctor?
I finished our initial scans, and so far, I've found no physical abnormalities.
We already know the aliens are capable of some kind of mind control, Doctor.
Yes, but that doesn't explain the lack of a nearby controlling alien, or the sheer number of victims.
If the aliens were capable of launching an attack of this scale previously, I believe they would have. Perhaps this was a one-time opportunity.
That might be true, but we still need to find out how this was possible.